No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Melodrama upon melodrama!
This is utter, shameful, disgraceful piece of nonsense.
He was miles off it yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all
Plenty
the
of
time.
time, no problem.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast. NLD top 10. Will, where is this? Give us. Does it make the top 10?
Top 10. Was this one of the top 10 NLDs ever, or is NLD?
Sorry, that wasn't very clear. Give me your top 10 NLDs. And where is this NLD rate?
The acronym or the game itself?
As an acronym, where does the NLD sit in top 10 Premier League Barclays man acronyms?
Yeah, we'll put it to the listener first.
Yeah, before you answer, Will, let me just cut across there. Sound off the comments. What's your favourite Barclays man acronym in the Barclays Premier League era? 2001, 2007, 2011.
Before we get into the NLD, I don't know, did you see Sean Dyche being asked about the Barclay men trend?
Oh, yeah.
I'll play the clip here, but you have never seen a more confused man in your life.
You'd have to name some players from that era. Off the top of my head, I can't pick out one in that era, although there was many, I'm sure. Well, he was a fine player. I think it's one of Sam's he kind of found from sort of not nowhere, and helped him, shine him up and got him to the player, or helped him become a player in this country, it was. Strange kind of question. I don't know. What was the second part of the question?
It's like that interviewer, he probably thought this is going to be gold. We'll get some great clips here. And it's just like 2 minutes of Sean Dyche looking directly through his soul and going, what?
Yeah. He's very much in that space, an online kind of meme, but he's not online.
No, yeah.
It's like the way the Beach Boys never really surfed. I don't know if you knew that, Will.
Yeah.
They weren't surfers. And Sean Dyche online meme, point of humor for sure, but he's not actually part of that. He just kind of is that. So yeah, no, he was the wrong man to ask that. That reporter really misjudged that one. And to be honest, every time he has to ask Sean Dyche a question now, it's this guy again. This guy who is an idiot, he's going to ask me a question about, however he says something, do you not think tactically, the fucking Barclays man guy's going to ask me about tactics? Speak up, son, Yeah.
This is what would happen if we somehow ever got press credentials. We'd ask something like that and we'd just immediately, like Arnie Slot or something, be like, you're never allowed to speak to me ever again. We go, yes, sir.
100%. You got to take risks sometimes, but that was definitely the wrong one. Yeah, no, it was a good North London derby. If you're an Arsenal fan, Tottenham fan, not so much. Neutral, not a classic, I would say.
No, it's a new era. I think I remember commentators saying that is the most yellow cards in the first half of a Premier League game. But watching the match, it did not feel like that. There was one little moment with a dodgy tackle and a bit of a scuffle, but a lot of the yellow cards were like, you kick the ball and it's a throw in, or you mentioned something to the referee. So it's like even the most vicious derbies, it's now like after 10 minutes, all the players are on yellows and they can't do anything.
Well, I think that's probably a response to the Rice thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I was wrong and I said that they'll probably tell the refs, cop on, don't be sending off good players, They probably had a bit of meat and said, you know what, like they'll be expecting
all the time
to give a soft touch here to Arsenal. You got to keep it going. The players are probably thinking, well, just like everything else, this won't last. So we'll just like moan and whinge and kick the ball away like we've been doing pretty much all our careers, and we'll outlast these new rules. It wasn't like ill-tempered. It was all just moaning and kind of dissent, different forms of dissent.
Yeah, letter of the law punishments. There was a very funny moment in the United game. Bruno got a yellow card for kicking the ball away after the whistle was blown, but he hadn't heard the whistle. And you could like read his lips as he was speaking to the ref. He got the yellow card and he said to the ref, "Since when?"
Since when? Yeah, the players definitely don't read the rules brief, do they? At certain season, they don't. They get told, I'm sure, like, yeah, all right. That a new one. There's a new handball
Yeah.
apparently. Okay, tell me again in 6 months when it changes again. You know. I think there's a bit of that in the Euros as well, where there was like yellow cards were sent and players were genuinely like, "Oh, I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this rule. When has this ever been a thing?"
My favourite moment of the Euros was Van Dijk getting a yellow card for speaking to the referee while being the captain. It's like, what's the rule then?
You might be the captain, you still can't call me a twat, all right? That's you can speak to me respectfully, but I'm the captain. I can call you a prick. Yeah. No, look, there was a bit of bite to it, I guess, in terms of people were trying harder. It seemed like they were trying harder, but it was kind of the old Arsenal, the old Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal. You know, set pieces, centre back, knock it in, and get out of dodge. You know, they were obviously missing their two players, anyways, for sure, in Rice and Odegaard, and that does kind of dictate how they play. You know, they don't really have. I mean, like, listen, a lot of teams would love to have Jorginho and Partey on the bench to bring in as backups, but like they're just not as good. So they played quite conservatively, quite defensively. They were slowing down the ball a lot. They were like really like a classic game where I'd say if you'd ask Arsenal fans going in, they would say, "I'll take a draw here. I'll take a 0-0." You know, 1-0.
Just in case, yeah.
Ideal, you know. There's not a single Arsenal fan there being like, "Oh, we should have beaten them by more. They're crap," you know. Even maybe they are, but like I think it was just one of those like, if we can get away with a draw, that'd be great. Yeah, I suppose the flip side is that they have Man City next, so they did probably need to win this one to have any chance of staying in the title race.
Yeah, I think City's lead is already 3 points at the top of the table. So like, good luck now to everyone else, especially with Haaland banging them in. It's going to be tough.
I think the 2 points ahead, Arsenal dropped those 2 points against. They drew with somebody and they dropped 2 points, and City have remained perfect so far. So, yeah, that 2 points could turn to 5, and then you drop another 2 points. Now it's 7. Now it's really over.
It's over, yeah. It was with Brighton they drew to.
Yes, Brighton. So yeah, I mean it's and even if they win, let's say it's still 2 points, and then you know they're 2 points you don't have, they're not going to drop. But look, it was good to see Arsenal having like a backup plan. You know, a bit of kind of malleability that we can change things up if we don't have the players for it. You know, we don't just stick to one kind of gung ho strategy and say, "Well, this is how we play, mate."
Who the hell would do that?
I mean, I saw the lineup for Tottenham before the game, and you know, sometimes like I don't know, the guy who does the lineup just says, just throw the names in there, the formation will change. Like people just want to know who's starting, not the formation. You know, I saw like that's can't be right. That he must be playing there, and then well, then where's Madison playing? Is Madison an 8? They had like 5 attackers against Arsenal, and yeah, I mean, I guess it nearly worked. Only lost 1-0 and they had chances. Yeah,
they did only lose 1-0, but you know, it's the hashtag NLD. It's a huge game. But coming into the game, did you see Ange's comments about how, you know, wanting to just beat one team is a very small club mentality? You know, every game matters as much, which definitely, I get what he means coming in. I'm sure everyone understands.
Yeah.
But you don't say it though, because what it sounds like you're saying is you don't care if you lose to Arsenal tomorrow.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't care if we lose. And if you do, you're actually a fucking loser, dude. You know?
I did see someone commented under that video of him like mentioning the small team mentality for like wanting to beat one team. And it was a Tottenham fan, and he said, last year this fella was giving out because he wanted us to lose against Man City. What does he want?
I get the sentiment that like and the same as last year, like we can't be concerned with Arsenal winning or getting fourth. Like we need to make progress year on year. You know, and then you look back in 10 years and go, oh yeah, actually what matters is where we are now. But you're probably not going to be there 10 years, pal. You know?
He has a 4-year deal I saw today. And it is a process, like he says, but it's like, when has any club ever followed the process? It happened like maybe 3 times in my lifetime in the Premier League.
Yeah, you could do it at certain clubs, but I think it's rare to find in the Premier League, and it's even rarer to find it at Tottenham, I think. You know, No, listen, I'm sure he came in with those. He said the same thing when he was interviewed. I'm not saying he lied in the interview, but really the job Tottenham is beat Arsenal at home, don't get hammered away. Ideally win twice, but and then maybe make a push for top four. That is the ambition. That's what you got to do. So you're talking about forget Arsenal. It's like, forget Arsenal. That's one of the two things. That's one of the two things we asked you to do. Compete with Arsenal and then maybe get fourth. So yeah, he's got these grand plans, but there doesn't seem to be a lot backing it up. That's the problem.
Yeah, and there was a clip circulating after the game then where one interview particularly. Now I will say she goes out of her way to really rile him up. She is. Yeah, I'll play the clip. I don't know if you saw this.
Campaign really about setting principles, getting your message across. The second campaign is, you said at the start of the season, the first campaign really about setting principles, getting your message across. The second campaign, you normally win. Are you seeing enough in this side that this season you do think that they will be a side that can win? I'm talking silverware.
Yeah, absolutely.
Competing right at the top.
Am I going to answer the question, or are you going to keep asking it? No, absolutely. And I think I'll correct myself. I don't usually win things. I always win things in my second year. Nothing's changed.
And you're confident you can do that with this side? You're seeing enough?
Well, I just said it now, so I don't say things unless I believe them.
Oh, I mean, don't say that. Don't say I always win in my second season, because you're just setting yourself up for it's just going to be trouble.
There's a sell-by date, and then there's an obvious answer at either the end of this season or the start of next season. So Ange, last year you said would be the year you won and you didn't. What's the story?
Yeah, because what you're implying there, you're going, right. So is this Ange the worst club you've ever managed then, if that's the case, where this is the first time this hasn't happened?
By your own metric, Mr. Postecoglou, this is bad. The goal Arsenal scored against was a set piece. That's a problem, because it was a problem last year. In most cases, it'd be worse to be kind of cut through, just ran through the middle. But because he made such a deal out of it last year, when he made the comment about, there's this narrative going around about, I don't practice this, I don't care about this. So he's like, if I thought that would fix everything, I would do it straight away. And here you are a year later and it's still happening. I was like, well, and I think it was different. I don't think it was bad, but it's just, again, when you put data on things, you're saying, well, this isn't the reason, and then it happens again. It's like,
coming into the game, Arsenal had scored the most corners since the start of last season in Europe, all of Europe. So it's like, you would think coming into that game, it's like, you really need to double down on stopping those. Spurs had conceded the 7th most corners in Europe since last season. And he was asked again about this after the game. And it's, again, same answer again. He was like, I don't know where this narrative that I don't care about set pieces comes from. It's like, because you said it.
Yeah.
You said that's not the problem. So people are going to ask you about it when it is a problem.
Well, as soon as the interviewer started, he goes, I know, the set piece. I know you're going to ask about that.
The set pieces. Yeah.
I know, okay.
God, you're always banging on about that.
We're working on training. We are, I swear. We're just, really bad. But that's the thing, is you could be working on it in training, of course. Arsenal are really good at it. They've been working on it probably longer than you have. It has been there for 5 years now. But when you say, so boldly, this is why you say nothing. Say nothing ever.
Exactly.
Because it'll come back to bite you. I'm sure you saw mainly Man United fans, gleefully reveling in Arne Slot's loss to Nottingham Forest after his kind of dissection of Man United's tactics. Guess you couldn't figure it out now, Arne Slot. I guess that wasn't so easy a puzzle to figure out. It's like, don't say anything, because it's going to come back at you tenfold. People are going to throw it back at you. So don't say, to be fair, remember when Ten Hag was asked, when is this team going to play Ajax? And he's like, never. I know what you're trying to do there. You're trying to make me say a certain date. I'm not that stupid, Because what you do, you're bound to it then, and you're kind of fucked. So, yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's why Arteta, one of the reasons he's done so well is he is actually pretty good at that. He's not very, he doesn't talk down on other teams or say, put the blame on other teams' doors for things that happen. He's very political in his answers, unless something on the pitch drives him mad. When he's like, it's a disgrace. Or whatever. He's never we ripped through Man United today. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, don't be honest. Don't say don't say how you plan for this, Don't say what you did. Just say, yeah, no, good game, 3 points, etc. And then
Yeah.
don't give the likes of us a clip, because
No. Yeah. Because if we know it's bad and have a clip, imagine what the people who actually know what they're talking about think.
I know, yeah. Yeah, they were all right. I mean, Solanke had a few chances as well. And I remember at the start of the season, I looked up all his goals from last year. And I was like, a lot of his goals for Bournemouth were like turnovers that just kind of fell to him. And then he managed to put in, and like they probably shouldn't have, like the XG went very low on the goals he scored because it came out of nothing. He got the exact chance against Arsenal. And he's probably thinking, this is it. This is going to be the goal I score.
I know this. Yeah, I've seen this before. Yeah.
This is what I've been waiting for. This is my bread. And then by that time, the ball had been taken off him, because he took like first touch, like, all right, not the best touch, but it's not done yet. Took a second touch, like, okay, well, now you're taking liberties. You should have cut back inside and Sleeve got the ball. It's like, man, like that should have been a goal. That really, last season, he's fine with confidence. He's having to think with that. He's banging in, but it's just that like bad start to Tottenham career, then gets injured. Now he's back in the biggest game of the year for them. It's like, oh, it's happening. So I did feel sorry for him a little bit.
Yeah, like I think when you're at a Bournemouth, say, and you're playing to get the big move is one thing, but it's when after you get the big move, and I think every touch of the ball, he, makes a mistake of, or if he misses anything, in his head, he must be thinking, oh, 70 million. They're going to be talking about that. They're going to talk about how much it costs.
Yeah. Well, there's pressure every time you move, like say, from a Bournemouth to a Tottenham, because everyone, no matter how good you were, there'll be people who'll be saying like, oh, well, will he make the move up? It's a higher level. He's never, he didn't do it at Chelsea, just because people need to have hot takes. So, and if it's about you, you'll see it. Even if it's someone that isn't like a big name, like if someone's like, yeah, I don't think he's going to do it, you'll see that and go, oh, fuck, like I need to score early to put those doubters to bed. Like, I mean, it's early days still for him, but I mean, it's a record signing for a club, and you're a striker and you have to score a goal. And you had chances in that game. We had a looping header that almost went in as well. He didn't even play it badly. That's the thing. It's just like you want to get that first goal and you want to get a goal in the big games. But yeah, I mean, they weren't that bad. I mean, the Arsenal goal itself, Romero was a bit pushed, kind of, was he? But like, he didn't go down. He didn't like make a thing about it. So
yeah, it wasn't it's not one you'd spot from a mile away. You had to, like, they're never going to give that.
No.
You got to really add to the dramatics. If the slightest touch, go down, pal. Hands out, make the VARs look at it, because one of them might agree with you.
Yeah, one of them will just suggest like maybe it is by the letter of the law, and they go, yeah, you got to give it. It can't be seen to be too easy on Arsenal here, But it would have been very soft. But I think I've seen ones that given, if say it was in the air, if he jumps in the air and he pushes him with that and he dives, like, oh, what the fuck, But yeah, no, it wasn't a great game. Arsenal still stay alive, but yeah, I don't know. City look too good. City look really, really good.
It's different now, I will say. It could all change from today onward, because did you know that today is the big day? The trial begins today.
I know, yeah, the trial does begin. But when will it end, in our lifetime?
Yeah, probably. No, there's a lot of litigation to be done.
Yeah, I mean, just light a candle for Everton. They're definitely going to dock something for this.
I don't know if you saw the La Liga president saying that you have to sanction Man City or else your league loses all credibility. So it's like even the rest of the leagues are like, please, someone stop them.
I love that. Fucking winding up other leagues. That's a great move. Listen.
Yeah, the La Liga president saying, I don't know, it's a joke over there in the Premier League.
Liga president being like, me personally, if that was me, I'm just saying I wouldn't stand for that kind of flagrant bashing of the rules like that. Just man, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't take that shit. But that's me. That's the Liga. You in the Premier League.
Meanwhile, Barcelona have been paying referees millions for years.
Yeah.
You need to get a handle on things over there.
What Serie A president pipes up, instigating like, listen, lads, I'm just saying it's a bad look. That's from where I'm sitting. It doesn't. If this doesn't come to anything, it's a really bad look for you guys.
And another reason that game maybe wasn't the best game, and like you're saying about Romero, had a bit of an issue for the goal. He actually shared a tweet right after the game criticising Tottenham. So he retweeted one saying that Tottenham had not organised travel back from international duty, which left players to organise their own travel, which gave Arsenal an advantage, as Romero also had to play with a fever. Which sounds like that's too many excuses. Two things.
Yeah, just in case the first one doesn't track, bring a second excuse. Well, I also had a fever, so even if you don't think the first one matters, I was also sick. So there.
Have you ever tried to book a plane home on a day's notice while you're sick?
And apologies to anybody who regurgitated our Bentancur shout about him not playing because of racism.
Sorry about that.
He has 3 more days to appeal that until, I mean, what's he going to say? I don't know if he even will.
Yeah, probably not bothered.
He might say, well, the reporter laughed. Does that count for anything? It was funny, you know? It was a joke. But I got to laugh, so you got to give me a day off for that.
Can't have been that bad.
If no one laughed, then I would get it. But I mean, you know, it was a funny joke that landed. I mean, you had to be there.
We've talked about it before. If he's really smart, what he'll do is let the ban happen, start up a podcast. Cancelled, you know, where I speak my real thoughts, and he has the tape over his mouth. It's the pipeline.
Yeah, well, after his performance there, it might be a bad shout. Again, that was Arsenal's second string midfield. He didn't really stand out, but yeah, he'll be serving that ban later, not this week. But yeah, what else do we have then besides the hashtag NLD?
Well, you mentioned Man United fans had a great weekend, not because they won, but because Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest, and the unbeaten Arne Slot streak is over.
Yeah,
after 3 games. It's crazy again, the shift from week to week, where it's like, oh my God, this is the guy we're gonna go, like, we're unbeaten. This guy is the manager. All of these teams have been crying out for. Lost to, like, there's something not right at Liverpool. I don't know, they don't look right.
Yeah, if this had been week 1, everyone would have said, well, of course this is happening. This is he's not your Klopp. He's got no aura. You know, he's not the same manager, and he would have been really up against it. The first few weeks have been so good. People thought, well, Arsenal look the same. It could probably be Liverpool, Man City, but now it's people coming up like, oh no, look at him on the line there. He's not a manager. It was a bad one because it was the first time since the 60s, apparently, that Nottingham Forest had beaten Liverpool in Anfield, which is like covers that whole Brian Clough 2 European Cup winners era. So, always been a tough place to go for Nottingham Forest, but not today. Not with Callum Hudson-Odoi, who I did not know was there, to be honest.
A great goal. I did see people mention it again. It's like a disgrace this fella's still on the pitch after he was appeared on Epstein's list.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I forgot about that. He didn't start the game. Him and Alanga didn't start the game. And then they kind of came on. And I guess, you know, Liverpool had so many chances in the game. Luis Diaz had a few. I mean, I think he gets off a bit lightly. He scores some goals, scores some bangers himself, but he does kind of hit the post a lot. I feel like he's very busy. He's just a little bit more composure. Get that in the back net. Yeah. So Liverpool will be fine. They have the Champions League coming up, and they're kind of more. That's more their thing, isn't it? The Champions League. Even this new format, I'd back them to have a good Champions League. That's where it's really going to be won or lost for Arne Slot, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And especially all this, like the new format, more games, which means more games in Anfield, you would think, in Europe. So
yeah,
they'll be fine.
There's a bit of thing with City in the Premier League where it's like, well, obviously, you know, you want to be competitive, but like you don't want to really hold it against them. But Champions League, no excuses. Even though City are in that too, until you lose them in a game, you know, you got to do well. Was there anything else that happened at the weekend, Will?
Liverpool lost, and also just down the road, Everton also lost. Again, they once again snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. Yeah,
this happened. Was it the first 2 weeks? Or you said, all right, like we can't do it again. Like we just, you know,
can't talk about Everton every week.
This is an Everton podcast, but I mean, this one is really just a crushing one. You know, because what would you say about Sean Dyche? You know, he makes a team defensively solid, gives you a base to launch from.
Yeah.
But like they've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin back scoring goals, back missing really good chances as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
But nevertheless,
he's back.
He's back doing what he does. You think, well, at least the Sean Dyche team, you know, if you go 2-0 up, that is lights out for another team, you know.
Game over, yep.
2-0 up against Aston Villa, and Ollie Watkins inspired comeback 2-2. And then John Duran, dear God, an absolute
What a goal.
banger.
Yeah, a rocket. And this like, again, this will happen not every few months, it feels like, in the Premier League. Since I was small, where it's just like a screamer, it's like John Duran, another incredible goal. It's like, who the hell is John Duran?
John Duran. Is it John Duran? Did I just say John Duran?
I'll have to look that up. Again, that'll tell you.
Maybe it's Johan Duran. John Duran.
If it's Johan Duran, great name.
It's John Duran. J-H-O-N.
John Duran.
John Duran.
Yeah.
John Duran, Will, is a man with the second best minutes to goal ratio in the Premier League. Do you know who's number one?
Ooh, Haaland, surely?
Yeah. Easy little pop quiz there for you. Anybody who's
He scored like 10 goals in 3 games or whatever.
Anybody who's paying the slightest attention could have got that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, John Duran has kind of like been a super sub for Aston Villa this season, scoring goals. He was on the pitch 7 minutes and he scored probably the goal of the round. I mean, the goal of the month for September is going to be a tough one. From this weekend alone, you got Harry Barnes. You saw that one against Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
There was Hudson-Odoi's one, very similar, not as good. Duran's one. Fabian Schär in the same game, although it took a bit of a deflection. Some of them probably won't make the list for goal of the month, which is crazy to think.
Yeah, it's interesting. This happened in the Euros as well. Remember at the start of the Euros, there was a lot of goals from outside the box. And we were like, oh, the football's back. It's a new era, we're doing away with the systems. But it was actually what it was the players were more tired than ever, so they weren't closing down.
Yeah. This was, I think, just an anomaly. A lot of absolute traction engine shots from some of them. But yeah, no, Aston Villa keep it alive. They're like, say what you mentioned, the Euros there. They're also kind of coming back. Some of their players are just a quick turnaround after the Euros. Watkins didn't play against us for England. And that was, of course, the Onana derby, as we all know.
Yeah.
He was playing in Belgium over the summer. So Villa, I think, are probably pretty happy with where they are at the start of the season, faced into Champions League as well. It'll be very, very difficult for them to repeat last season and then have a successful Champions League go at it as well. But the only thing is they can't drop down to Europa League. So we know that nonsense. None of that long, drawn-out quarter-final exits in the Europa League and then finish 10th in the league. So, yeah, I think they're probably doing all right. But, I mean, for Everton, what is happening?
It's just, it's when things aren't going your way. I mean, we said at the start of the season, this feels like it is the year now. It feels like Everton has accepted their fate finally, whereas last year they were still fighting against it. But I don't know, when it's like you're 2-0 up and you end up losing 3-2 out of nowhere twice in the space of 4 games, it's just not your year, is it? I don't see how they turn it around. And it feels like the type of a season where higher up the table, you might go, right, maybe it's the manager. Let's get a new manager in.
Yeah.
Start fresh. But it's like, you're going to get rid of Sean Dyche to try to stay up? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, that's the conventional wisdom. But as I say, you think, okay, well, at least they'd be tight at the back. It's like, that's the one thing they're not. They can score goals. The way to score goals this year, it's just like they're leaking goals like nothing. I mean, in terms of on the pitch problems, Will, if I was to put a number on how many problems they have, I'd probably say 99 problems. That's probably what they have.
Nice.
Yeah, approximately. I'd say approximately they probably have 99 problems that need fixing. But it doesn't mean they're not an attractive club for a potential investor, even though I think they've had like 3 or 4 ones fall through there recently.
Yeah, I think we all know how this is going to end up. The same as the last year investors, where I want to buy a Premier League team, new stadium. They've been in the Premier League how long? They've how many fans? This sounds great. How many followers on social media? Just give me a quick look at the books and I'll sign it. And then you go, oh my God.
No, you need to look at the books. No, don't look at that. Don't forget that. That's a different year. Those numbers are wrong.
We've already paid for those. We've already got the point deductions. It's a new time now.
That was an old accountant. He was an idiot. Don't mind that, Mr. JC. Or should I say Mr. Carter? Should I call him Mr. Carter? Can I call him Mr. Carter? Yeah, and we didn't hear this. This is new enough news, I guess. Jay-Z is in talks. No, I don't know. I just said that. I don't know if he's in talks. I literally heard in the group chat that Jay-Z is going to buy Everton. Yeah, I saw the group chat, and a quick Google would tell me that what Jay-Z could be part of a Everton takeover under John Textor.
Yes. He owns currently Crystal Palace. I think that's the issue, where it's like he must see more value in, I don't know, grabbing Everton for pennies now while they're desperate.
Yeah. So I think it's one of those kind of he might be a small part of it, but he's just the biggest name. If you say John Textor's buying Everton, like I don't know what that is. You know,
it's not making Jay-Z, it on the podcast. Yeah,
you'd be like, "Whoa,
cool." Is he going to be rapping at the games?
Is there going to be a documentary with him and Beyonce? You know, like the Wrexham one? Is it going to be like that? Yeah, he's part of like a conglomerate American-owned hedge funds, and he's some of the money involved in it. But
strip it for parts, usually.
I feel though it's not even like if you were to see Jay-Z at an Everton game, I feel like it wouldn't even like I can't believe this. I'm like, yeah, I mean it's obviously not usual, but it is a multi-billion-dollar league, you know?
Yeah. Again, I don't think this is weirder than Michael B. Jordan being like a co-owner of Bournemouth. That's much weirder to me because it's like he seems like he has less money than Jay-Z. But also, it's like, how the hell did he hear of Bournemouth?
Yeah, it's just because that's the thing. It's like there's not even Bournemouth. It's like they're looking at like an index of companies by revenue, and FC Bournemouth. Like it may as well just be like a Chinese company. You know, it's like I don't care what it says. You know, I'm looking at the numbers here, and they look pretty good, and I want to invest. You know.
But Jay-Z, I mean, he wouldn't be the worst owner if he is going to be, hands-on. Well, not hands-on, but like involved at all, because he does have experience with the Nets and the NBA.
A Jay-Z team talk, like Todd Bowley-esque, I want to go in and talk to him. I want to talk to him. Yeah, imagine imagine Jay-Z grabbing Seamus Coleman by the shoulder. This is the best man I've ever met in my entire life.
Thanks, Hove.
And I met Biggie Smalls. So this guy's better, way better.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's more so a case of it just being like not a quiet news week, but like I don't think this is ever going to amount to anything. And again, if it does, it'll be like Jay-Z is one of 10 billionaires that are pooling their money together so that they don't all lose their arse on buying Everton.
Yeah, do you remember start of the season and Ed Sheeran was, I think he's like 1 or 2% owner of Ipswich.
Ipswich, yeah.
But he had like a whole interview on Sky Sports and how he loved the club and all this. It was like he's gotten like there's nothing to do with it really. He's just a fan. Like okay, he's got a lot of money, but he's not controlling anything. He's not making any decisions. He's just famous, you know.
You're telling me the Dude Perfect boys aren't on the board of Burnley?
Yeah, Dude Perfect sponsored Burnley in some capacity. They sponsor the training ground or something, isn't it?
It's something like that. Yeah, they're involved in the club. But again, it's not like okay, Perfect boys. Who are we signing this year?
Chaz? Is it Chaz the main guy?
Probably they're all called Chaz, I'd say. I do like the idea of them doing YouTube videos of like, we're scouting the next Brazilian wonder kid.
Yeah. YouTube sensation announces that as 2024-2025 junior and academy front of shirt partner. So if you watch any of the Burnley underage games, academy games, you'll see the iconic DP on the jerseys. And
the bottle flipping guys,
the bottle flipping guys, the trick shot guys, the Nerf boys, they got a bunch of Nerf boys. The leading sports and entertainment group made up of Garrett Hilbert, Tyler Tony, Cody Jones, Kobe, and Corey Cotton invested in Burnley Football Club in the summer of 2023 and have provided unwavering support for development of the club's academy and youth football programs. So they got in
unwavering.
Well, to be fair, Will, they got in as they're going back with the Premier League, and this year instead of like, all right, well, you're out of this now. You're making less money. They didn't get out. They said, you know what, true. We're going to sponsor the youth. We're going to invest in the core of this club. Dude Perfect will remain the official front of shirt sponsor for the 2024-2025 season, and with a Dude Perfect logo prominently displayed on all junior-sized retail shirts and academy teams' home, away, and third shirts. The group also became the official naming rights partner of the Burnley FC International Youth Cup, calling it the Dude Burnley Cup. No, I didn't.
The only
they renamed it the Burnley FC plus Dude Perfect International Youth Cup. But I would have preferred to call it the Dude Burnley International Youth Cup. If it was me, I would have pushed for that. I would have taken less money to get it called the Dude Burnley Cup.
There's another strange sponsorship. I actually forgot to mention this. This is like a week or two ago. It popped up on my Twitter. Did you know that Bournemouth are now the official football partner of the WWE PlayStation games, the WWE 2K games? And I don't know what that means, but apparently there's Bournemouth content coming to WWE 2K soon, which I think means you can play as the players in the game.
Oh, well, this we're getting back into our favorite thing here, Will, image rights, you know.
Yeah.
If you're young Clivert, you know, you're a big name. Okay, it's your dad's name, but I mean, you're a big name. Like, you don't want to be giving away your image rights to WWE for free. You know, that would be fun.
It's just, I feel like, again, though, this is one that's asking for trouble because it's like, right, like, okay, say you could play as the Bournemouth players in the game, which again, it's like in this worldwide game seems insane.
Yeah.
But say you can use these games in the wrestling matches in the game. All it takes is one person to upload a video of that player violently beating someone, and it's like, well, this is a sponsor nightmare now.
In the Bournemouth kit as well.
Yeah, making someone bloody,
hitting someone with a steel chair.
Yeah,
yeah. We'll have to see how that one goes, but that's cool. So yeah, that's kind of the headlines, I guess. Will,
quiet enough week in the Premier League. Not that there wasn't news, but it was all expected news. Teams lose, teams win, managers are angry. That's about it.
You know what, Will? It's too early to tell. It's just too early to make any kind of take any opinions from this.
I wonder what is the exact turning point. Is it Christmas Day? Is that when you can actually make assumptions?
To be fair, I feel like whoever's top of Christmas is usually a thing, isn't it? You know, because that's. I mean, look, there's United are like a couple wins off Man City still. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's not right. You know, it's going
to... No.
Because they're like more than that off them. You know, so it's when it starts to reflect, it was like, yeah, okay, they're 10 points off them. Yeah, that's as good as they can hope for. We'll draw more conclusions when we're able, folks. Okay, when we have the data in front of us.
We're doing all we can.
But there's Champions League coming up, as you mentioned. There is a new format as well. And we're not really kind of up to speed on it yet. You know, I've watched the official explainer video from the Champions League with Seferin and the orchestra probably 7 times, and I'm
more confused than ever.
I'm finding more Easter eggs in there from previous ads, but nothing else about the games. It's more just kind of enjoy it, you know. More games, more teams in the group. I mean, I saw explainer video from Annie McCoy's on it. Maybe we should play that.
Yeah, maybe let him explain it.
From the 2024-25 season onwards, UEFA have a new format for the Champions League, Europa League and the Conference League. Instead of a group stage, there will be a new epic league phase with 36 teams involved, which means 4 more teams will get a taste of the big time in the Champions League.
Oh, it's a majestic finish! And he scores!
What's more, instead of playing 3 teams home and away, there's a twist. In this phase, everyone plays 8 matches against 8 different sides, with fixtures decided by drawing 2 teams from each of the 4 seeding pots, with 4 home matches and 4 away matches.
Champions of Europe.
So, quick recap: more games, more variation, more fun.
Yeah, I mean, look, pretty good. It's sounds like 4 teams in the group, 4 games, home and away. And once you get through the group games, the thing about the new Champions League is that just think of the initial group stages, so this new league format, as a money-making scheme.
Yeah.
That's all that is. And then once we're out of the preliminary rounds, it's back to the 2 legs, home and away, and then it's back to home. It's just to make a bit more money. That's all the start is, you know. And of course, give smaller teams a taste of the big leagues. But really, It's about the money.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. The top teams will probably come out of it. Your team may not. I can't speak for every team. There's always has been. Always one team that has a stinker in it, injuries or whatever, and it falls apart. But it's more or less the same. A few more games. I'm interested, Will, and excited for what I hope is going to be the returning episode of Champions League Magazine this weekend.
Oh, yeah. I wonder, is there a new format for that?
Yeah, I mean, if they've touched that, then they don't know what they're doing, because that's perfect. That's a perfect format. It's a magazine show.
Tell you, if they've scrapped that, I would be fuming.
But yeah, we'll be covering that during the week. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I guess, to account for those extra games that we mentioned.
Yeah, and you might think now, it's probably like a game or two on the Thursday, just like kind of a few loose ones you to wrap up. Nope. On Thursday this week, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 games on Thursday. I believe there's 6 games every day. So good luck following it all. We'll do our best.
Well, I'm interested in is that, it was like RT would show Tuesday, TV3 would show Wednesday. Who gets Thursday? TG Carr?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, and then what becomes of the poor Europa League?
Oh.
Are they going to have games on Friday? Because don't forget, they have more games too. I'm not watching the Europa League on a Friday. No way.
Well, if there's Champions League on, I'm not watching Europa League. Yeah.
I mean, I've never actually considered. I know all the players have been banging on about this. I've never actually considered how insane this is going to be. Because if there's games on Thursday in the Champions League, do you play Saturday? Do you play Sunday?
No.
Is it like the Europa League? If it's the Europa League and you have games Friday, when the fuck do you play your Premier League game?
There's literally not enough days in the week anymore for this competition.
They've really made a boo-boo here. I don't think they realize they have more games than days now.
And what about the Conference League, Will? When does that get played?
Is that on at the weekend? I'm going to look at this up right now. When is the Europa League games on?
Listen, while Will looks it up, folks, you just watch whatever games you want. There's probably some good games on this week as well, I'm sure. There's enough people playing. There's probably some decent fixtures going on. So we'll be back giving a real overview, really kind of brief look, because we're not going to watch all the games. It's not possible, I don't think.
We're going to briefly go through all the 24 games.
Yeah, so in minute 7 of game 3, there was an interesting call by the referee. No, we didn't even do all the games that happened in the Premier League this week, so we're not going to get 24 games in. But any of the big stuff, any of the main stuff, any of the side stories, if there's any kind of interesting stories around it, that'd be kind of what we're looking for when it comes to this kind of amount of games. So look, it'll be a good episode, I'm sure. Join us, $4.50 a month. Link in the description of this episode. But for now, I think that's about it, Will. We'll see the current ultras during the week, and hopefully a few new ones. If not, be sure to rate us 5 stars on Spotify.
Yes, you must. That's the deal.
Yeah. I don't make the rules. Will does. And he said, if you don't subscribe to be an ultra, you have to give us 5 stars. And if you don't, we will call the online police.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, the online police already know who you are because you're online right now. So you're like, it's too late. You think, I'm going to close on my phone really quickly or turn off my laptop. It's too late. They have your location. Oh, you've used a VPN? They have tools for that as well. So
they're not real. That's fake. Yeah.
It has to be a 5 stars or you have to subscribe $4.50 a month. Not really a choice.
If you rate below 5 stars, we get a notification on our phone giving us your name and address. So we'll come find you. So don't make sure you rate 5 stars. You won't be giving out your address to strangers on the internet.
Yeah, and if you think, come on, find me, see what happens. We'll send worse people than us.
Yeah.
You think,
bigger, scarier podcasts.
You think who's worse than a podcaster? Bigger, stronger podcasters. What's worse than a podcaster? Another podcaster. 2 podcasters, I guess. So yeah, just subscribe, please.
Yeah, please.
Good luck.
We need to talk about Everton. I need somebody to tell me what is going on up there. Everton were 2-0 up and they found a way to lose the game.